guys? Today we're going to be talking about Publisher Rocket. I found that a lot of you in some of the comments with like Smuthood and stuff, you have it, but you don't know how to use it, and you're unsure. And I looked at the tutorials for it, and I realized that they suck. It makes they make it too clinical, and they don't make it fun, and it's very boring, and I didn't like it. So I was a marketer, and I was a marketing analyst in college. It was one of my first jobs, and we used a similar kind of software, tracking different kind of keywords for our products. So this came pretty easy for me once I like figured it out. It took me a minute because this is applying to books rather than products, but it's very similar. So today we're going to talk about keyword searches and how they apply to you. So the first thing you have to remember when doing keyword searches is it's about you as a reader, not you as an author. So when I look at my books and I'm looking for keywords, I'm looking for what are keywords people are going to search to want to get books like mine. And well, we all know I'm very popular in mafia. I'm not very popular in my, but like my book is a mafia romance, which is very popular. Before I get myself in trouble there. Um, the first keyword let's search is mafia romance. I'm gonna do Kindle only. I'm not worried about books right now because it's usually paperback. And as you can see, I actually have already looked this up beforehand. But normally there are these little spy glasses here on the end that you can sit there, you press it, and you analyze. So a couple of things. If you're too vague, it's going to give you a lot, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you want to look through things. As you can see, like N, E, F, for, forced. These are literally searches that Publisher Rocket has taken from Amazon that people have actually searched. So like Mafia Romance Gratis, it's somebody looking for free Mafia romance books. German editions, HEAs. So be mindful of that. And I'm going to tell you right now, just because somebody searched it does not mean it will fit in your keyword search bar. And another thing, you can put them in your keyword searches for Amazon, but if you don't have it in a subtitle or some variation in a subtitle or your book name, it can make it harder and you can get pushed further down in your keywords. So think about that. I'm really big on authors having their subtitle being the genre or the trope. And I'm going to show you what I mean here when I say that. So if we looked up mafia romance, you're going to see that a lot of these books, if we skip the sponsored ones, have mafia and or romance in their subtitles. Mafia, an arranged mafia romance. This one, she probably has it in her keywords, but this is a super popular book, so I'm not surprised it's on the first page. Mafia romance, mafia, 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 mafia. In the title, mafia, mafia. So you can see that the thing here is a lot of these all have mafia somewhere in their title, in their blurb. They probably like the title of the subtitle or what it's going to be. This one's sponsored. I don't count that one. Mafia. I don't count sponsored ones because those are paid advertisements. Yeah. So this one probably has it in her keyword search as well. But you see, most of them have mafia somewhere in there. Ooh, that looks really good. Boys of Belle Rose. I haven't read that one. Read for free. Sorry, I'm just gonna add that while we're here. I can't help myself. I'm a sucker for Jamie and Eve and Tate James when they write together. But still, like mafia, enemies to lovers, romance, they probably have it somewhere in their keywords. They have it in their blurb, in their subtitles or title. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So mafia romance is the first thing that we put in. Is going to be at the top of our searches. If you get too niche in your search on here, you will stump Amazon, or you only get one or two. So if you have to, take out a word, just to kind of bringing it back a little bit, like child's book, Red Riding Hood storyteller, or something like that. Take out some words from that to search for something. So Mafia Romance. So the first thing we're going to see is the average number of pages. And these are the average number of pages of the books that are on the first page. So that one page here, the average number out of all of these is 219. Um, I honestly think that's a bit of a lie, because I think they're still looking at paperbacks and not and not at the not at the ebook version of it. Um, so, and then the next one is going to be the number of competitors. So knows the number of books that compete for this keyword in Amazon. As you can see, Mafia Romance, because it's general and vague, has 31,940, and for the sake of today, we're going to just call this 32K. The average price of that book on the top ranking books for this keyword, and then the average monthly earnings at the top book that ranks for this keyword. I never really pay attention to this, and I'm telling you why. Because with KU, this gets dicey. It's not that I don't think so, but most Mafia romances tend to be in KU. And if you later, when I go through the competition analyzer in another video, you will see that this number is inaccurate because it gets this number by taking your ASMR or your rank. Basically, it's taking your rank and saying, based off of the rank, she should be making this much money based off how much her book is. Well, as we know, when we're in Kindle Unlimited, that a download counts as a sale. So the system is thinking she sold a $3.99 book. This is how much she's making. So somebody could, it looks like they're making $5,000 when in reality they didn't make that much, honestly, because of the fact that, well, they're in KU and we're gypped. That's a whole nother rant of a video though. All right. So the next one is going to be the estimated Amazon searches a month. So that tells you the estimated number of people who type that phrase into Amazon per month. All right. And these are color coded by green is a great number of searches, yellow is a reasonable number of searches, and red is, well, there's just not enough. And then we're going to go to the competition score, the competitive score. And the competitive score is basically how competitive this is. And 100 being the best, or 100 being the worst, as in it's really, really competitive. As in you got to be Carolyn Peckham and Susan Valenti. You've got to be Kristen Luciani or whoever the big wig is in your genre. This is competitive. So I recommend that if you are a new author who has less than 4 books out, no newsletter, and very little following on social media or your Facebook, you haven't built up anybody, that you stay away from anything that is over 48 to 48 in a competitive score. So 48 or so and under would probably be is good for you. And then if you have a moderate following, you've got a good newsletter going, which I like. For me, I have like 630. That's decent. I have a big following on TikTok, my Facebook group. I have good followers for reading my books. You want to stick to about a 65 and below. When it comes to a competitive score, you're going to do pretty good there, but I'd stay away, 75 and below. You could do pretty well with that. I recommend having probably around 6 or 7 books out and a decent following. And if you want to get up there into that competitive scale, you better be doing ads, because that's the only way you're going to get up there in the front. Like, it might work, but otherwise, like, woo boy, you're going to have to get up there because you saw those names. They were big. Now, the competitive score is based off of a couple of things when it's determining, right? Like, it's going to determine the popularity of the keyword, the fame of the authors, the keyword in the title or subtitle. This is very important. Whether the keyword is in the title or subtitle. Repeat that just for one more sake, because I really want to drive this home. The keyword is in the title or subtitle. And then the number of reviews and its ratings, that's going to determine the competitive score. And that's what's determining whether or not you're going to be wasting your time with this keyword and you should try something smaller, or like, oh, this is the perfect fit for me. Now, as you can see, it's kind of odd, right? When you go up to Mafia Romance, you see that it's yellow here for a reasonable number of searches, but the competitive score is high. So for 32,000 competitors, there's only 3,800 searches, which is reasonable. But with all of the popularity of the authors that you're going up against, it's not, it's too competitive that way, right? So it's only getting 3,800, so you're probably only getting to like page like 4. So because you have to beat, all of these books, and if you don't have a good following, your title or keyword or thing, if your keyword isn't in your title or subtitle, you're gonna be pretty far back there, compared to anything else. Like this one's up here on the first page. There's a dark Italian mafia romance. It's in that subtitle. I'm kind of curious. I got curious now. I want to know why somebody with a 4-star and 34 reviews. So 34 reviews, but he says mafia romance. Now he could be doing ads as well to help push this out. They're just not sponsored. But if you look at his categories, I mean, he must have chosen some pretty good categories because he's number 2021 free in the Kindle store. And that's also going to determine as well, right? So that's what we were missing here. I wasn't looking at that, and that's my fault. Why was he on the first page? He's got a 3.5-star rating, only 34 ratings, and he's literally in the top 2,000 free in the Kindle store. I missed that it was free. So there's another thing you're looking for as well. Look at doing like some kind of prequel or some kind of free like little novella. We call these reader magnets, and they're often put in newsletters, but think about putting them up on Kindle, because guess what, if this maybe, okay, probably not this one, but if this had been another book that had looked like a mafia romance, right, maybe it had looked like this, wow, something like this, and it was free and it was a mafia romance, I might have clicked on it because it's free. And I am more likely to take a chance on authors who are free and who or are in Kindle Unlimited, because I don't want to buy something that I know nothing about the author, and then the author, is horrible, and I don't like them. So be mindful of that. This person really picked up good keywords. So she's got 18 books. That's where it's judging the popularity. 18 books. She's putting everything mafia, 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 mafia in all of her stuff. That's what's getting her to the top. You got to look at that, because even though she's only got 25 ratings and she's rating 97,000 in the Kindle store, she's still on the first page. That's telling me something. She's using good keywords. She's doing, I mean, she might not be number one, but something in this area is working. And that's what's going to get you there. I'm off my high horse. Okay. Dropping the titles, dropping the keywords in the title and the subtitle. So numbers we're gonna look at. I have no idea what that is. Okay, so let's go down here to Mafia Romance Kindle Unlimited. Now I'm telling you, just because somebody searched it doesn't mean it will actually fit in the keyword bar when you put it in. So just remember that. I will honestly probably take out romance and put in Kindle Unlimited, because Kindle Unlimited is not something that I can put in my I'm not putting it in my subtitle, but I can put Mafia and Romance in my subtitle. So the number of competitors is 1923. And this is a yellow, it's a green, because wow, they're doing nearly almost the same amount of searches as there are competitors. That's pretty darn good. But it's still moderately competitive, because probably a lot of people are putting these keywords, mafia, romance, Kindle Unlimited. You're going to come up with some pretty popular books. I mean, look at that. Stop there. I liked it. And I like that none of these are sponsored. But so, I mean, take a look at that. Like, it's not that competitive. You've got somebody who has, I don't know who's Zoe Birth. I can't see her name. I don't know who that is, but I mean, she's got a box set out there that's in the top 4. I'm not surprised that she is there because she's amazing. Raven Scott. So you have you have a different type of genre of people here when it comes to doing this compared to the other ones. Some of these are not as well known. You're not flooded with Carolyn Peckham, Kristen Luciani, Michelle Hurd. You're not flooded with those. Yes, you've got a few big ones in here. Elle Steele, Jill Ransauer, and Charity Farrell, but it's not as inundated. You have smaller names in here for being that, because it's taking what people are using in their keywords. Now, the only one that I didn't think I liked is this one is not on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm kind of not sure. But again, it does Mafia Romance. It's probably where it's drawing from. It's drawing from my keywords, because people automatically think that it's going to always take every single keyword. Like, it's only going to give me keyword ones that say this entire thing, but that's not necessarily true. So remember that. As you can see, not all of these, we're getting a different kind of style here. So at some point, so it's probably taking just Kindle Unlimited for some of these, because some of these are not Mafia, or at least don't look to be Mafia. So just remember that, like, just remember that keywords, when somebody puts it in, it's not going to be like direct. It has to have all of these things. It can have a variation of things. That's a really good book, Cruel Saints. Oh, I love me some Michelle Hurd. All right, so let's go back. So this is definitely something I would recommend for like a more mid-list author, somebody who's got a few books out, normally I'd say more than 4, around maybe like 6, who's got a really good newsletter following, probably around like 600-700 people, maybe more. And that's really great. You wanna be seeing that. So if you take a look, somebody writing Mafia Romance series, there's 22,000 competitors, but there's only 494 searches, which makes it super competitive. So the people, like the authors in this, are like I said, we're basing this off popularity of the keyword. So it's not as popular for how many competitors there are. So like if you see like Mafia Romance, somebody said "r" because again, this picks up on anything anybody types in. It's less than 100 searches, but it's super low competition because there's only one competitor, but you've less than 100 people searching this. So it's probably just one person searching it. Like, it's just one. Let's see. Let's take arranged marriage. Again, 646 searches for only 2,300 competitors, and you've got a moderately competitive score of 53. That's really good. So take those keywords, do a new search, and take different keywords. So I'm writing paranormal romance. Let's stick that in there. And we're going to just reveal some of the top ones. I don't know what this somebody tell me what BWWM stands for, because I have no idea. So free paranormal romance Kindle books. Look how popular that is. People really want free paranormal romance books. 85 competitive score. Paranormal Romance Academy, 914 searches, moderatively good. I try to look for ones that have still a really, like, moderate and moderate are pretty good. I try to look for a great number with moderate if I can. That's not always a thing though. So if you write small town, so like this here is pretty good. Paranormal Romance Shifter, 55,620. Reasonable number of searches is 1,225, which is not bad. And it's got a competitive score of 20, which means that the number of reviews and ratings, the keywords and subtitles, it's definitely less popular when it comes to like, it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of weird to explain something like that, right? Because you're like, well, if there's only a reasonable number of searches, why is it so low? And let's see, Paranormal Romance Shifter. Okay. So if you look at it too in the way they put this, and so you have to remember, like, this is also based off of keywords. And so you have 5,000 competitors who have some variation of these keywords in there. And it's really not that competitive, um, because of the fact that, some of these aren't as popular. The review ratings are low on a lot of these. If we don't count these, I don't count Books Inspired. I only do results because those are books inspired off of my purchases. Um, and so you could look like it's a mix, right? You don't have 8,000 reviews on some of these, or 10,000 or 11. The market for paranormal, um, shifter books is highly less competitive than Mafia. It's nothing against shifter. That's just the way that it is. Because most people can go to Wattpad, fan fiction, things like that, and get all of the paranormal romances that they want. But as you can see, it's less competitive because, again, remember that competitive scale is based off popularity, fames of the authors, keywords in the title or subtitles, number of reviews, and ratings. So Shifters is in here, paranormal shifter romance. And again, that's another thing too, right? It's got a decent number of searches, but they were searching paranormal romance shifter. And as I told you, even though it doesn't necessarily always go by that specific way, it can still help having it just a little bit different. So as you can see, these are all a little different. Oh, that's such a good book. And again, I don't pay attention to sponsored ones. But having shifter romance, shifter, or paranormal, or shifter, that's going to help you. Doing it in your subtitle. People like that. I like to look at a book and I like to know what it's about. Oh, that's a good book too. That's a really good book. I like that one. I really liked this series. I really did. I really did. Some people didn't. I really did. I was a fan. But like, yes, like I said, it's a lot less competitive. And when you compare the first page of what you're going against on a shifter than what you're going against for like Mafia, and what it looks like. So, it looks, huh, I like the cover. Like it's very orange, and I like pretty covers. I have an entire section of books that I love the covers and I haven't read the books. And I feel bad because like I like some of the authors and they're really nice, but I'm just like it's not my thing, but ooh, pretty. Um so that's my thing. I buy paperbacks. But yeah, so just looking at it, and keep that in mind with the keyword. Look about, like, don't just be like, oh, okay, that sounds like a great keyword. Look it up, see where it gets you. Like the competitive score for paranormal romance adult. There's 61,000 competitors, but it's got a reasonable number of searches, but the competitive score is really low because the ratings are low. So you just go check it out just to make sure, like, okay, like how legit is this? Like, is it really going to be like that? Or is it going to be something like different? Like just double check. And as I said, again, you're going up. See, like if you do it free, you're highly competitive, with no revenue, as you can tell. So just remember that when you're looking. I hope this kind of like explained it slightly better for you. I know it's still going to be confusing. I know I went through classes among classes on how to analyze data, and I'm still confused. So just look that out. Like, just because it has a great number of searches doesn't mean that it's not going to be competitive, because it's not basing it off of, you know, the number of competitors based on the number of searches, because this could probably have 63,000 searches a month and still be a highly competitive score because of who you're going against. So if we just did paranormal romance without the shifter, because shifter is a subgenre, you become slightly more competitive. 14. Now we're like up there in, when it's coming to reviews. Now their reviews are up there, whereas when we did shifter, it makes it less competitive, because the reviews are lower. 184, 52, 798. Like, it's all over the place compared to when we did romance, where it's a pretty steady use of I don't know how that got into paranormal. Look at you go. It's a pretty steady use of 400, 654, 43. Oh, that's mine. And so you have a lot more reviews. These ones are a lot more popular when you're just searching paranormal romance instead of a niche, because that's what people are putting in their keywords. So consider that when you're doing it. Just looking it up and comparing, okay, how can I get here? And I use these in conjunction with my categories. And so when I'm doing categories, I also kind of look at the competition of categories than I do than just doing keywords by themselves. And that's really how Publisher Rocket's supposed to be used. You want to be able to um, to mix these together and use the categories um, with more than just with the keywords, and not just like the keywords alone. And I'll show you that on how to use this category search in our next video. For now, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video again. Also, in the comments, add in your input. What makes it easier for you to, like, if you're really good at this, tell me what makes it easier for you to describe it to people, because I'm like, yeah, I'll make this easier. And then I'm like, did I just complicate things? So let me know if that makes it easier for you. Give me a shout out. I always want to hear what you use to help get keyword searches, where your book is at. Always reach out if you'd like any help, any videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay savvy.